Since we will be working with text in this tutorial, let's start by switching to the text workspace. Go to the upper right corner of the composition panel, and just above it you'll see this double arrow here. Click on that and that'll show you all the rest of the workspaces. Let's choose the text workspace. That'll open the character panel and the paragraph panel here on the right side of the interface. Let's start in the character panel and set our font. So click on the first drop down and you'll notice that we have not only the names of the fonts on the left, but previews of what the fonts will look like on the right. I want to choose Arial for my font, so I'll start typing Arial. And now I have a bunch of different Arial options, so I'm going to choose Arial Regular. To set the color of our text, let's go over to the right side here and notice we have red as the previous color. Yours may be a completely different color. In order to choose white, just click the white box down here. Just so we all have the same size text, let's click on the drop down where we can set our text size. I'm going to choose 60px. Lastly, go to the paragraph panel and make sure that the text is center justified because we want the text to be centered underneath of our main text here in the composition panel. As I'm looking at the composition panel, its magnification is less than 100% and I'd like to actually zoom in. So I'll go to the lower left corner, click on the magnification drop down and change that to 100%. Now to add text into the scene, let's go to the tool panel in the upper left corner and click on the T for the text, and then we'll hover underneath the word Lanikas and then click towards the middle here, and let's add the words custom, close, and then press return to go to the next line, and we'll add the line since 1965. In order to set this text, let's go back up to our tool panel and click on the leftmost tool, our selection tool. To reposition the text within the composition, simply click inside the bounding box and start moving the text around. If you hold Control on Windows or Command on the Mac, after you start dragging, you'll notice the text will start to snap to different objects in the scene. Now, I'm going to let go of my mouse and the Control key because I'm going to move my mouse right over the center section of the words here. That way, when I click and drag and then start to hold Control on Windows or Command on the Mac, that signifies that I want to snap the center of these words to the center of the different objects in the scene. So notice when it looks like this, then you can go ahead and let go with your mouse and let go of the Control key. Let's make our text all caps. Go to the bottom of the character panel and you'll see a graphic representation of all caps here with these double T's. Go ahead and click on that button and that'll make the text all caps. To customize the different lines of type within one single text layer, go down to the timeline and double-click on the T icon just to the left of the name of the layer. Once we double-click, we'll see the text is now highlighted in the composition panel. And when I hover my mouse over the words, I get the I bar, which means I can edit that area of the text. I'm going to start off the right side of 1965, click once, and drag to the left to highlight the entire lower line. Go ahead and let go of your mouse once that's highlighted, and then we can go back to the character panel, and anything that I change will only change the selected text. So I'm going to change this text from 60 pixels to 40. If you press Tab, you can move to the next field. The next field here controls the amount of space in between the two lines. This is called leading. I'll click on that drop down and choose a setting of 72. That's going to give me a lot more space between the different elements. Let's hover back over our text again so we get the I bar and start on the right side for close and click and drag to highlight back to the left. With the top line selected, let's make this line of type a little smaller. Go to the character panel again and don't use the drop down. Just click directly on the pixel value 60, then use your up or down arrows to move the pixel size up or down. This is a great way to make fine adjustments to your type layout. Once you get a size you like, grab the selection tool to set your type layer, and let's go down to the timeline and look at our text layer. If we open the options for layer 1, you'll notice text layers have options in addition to the normal transform options you'd get with any layer. And it's also important to understand that text layers aren't footage elements here in your project. They're actually generated from within the After Effects project itself, and they reside within compositions.